Hey traders, it's the Cowboy coming to YouTube here with another small educational video. Today I want to talk about the triple zigzags. I think it's a subject that's not talked about a lot and you don't find a whole lot of examples. So I found one courtesy of one of our members, Ricardo, and I wanted to take a look at that and just kind of show everybody how those patterns look like and how we can easily identify them on a chart. So I will start by looking at this price chart of this QTNT. Now, it's a stock. I don't know what they do. I don't know what this company does. I think it's got something to do, from what I've heard, with medicine and maybe, come up with some kind of a vaccine for the virus. I don't know. And I really don't care. What I see on the chart, it's what matters to me. And if I can identify the patterns that are on there, it's for me, it's good enough. I don't need to get into all the fundamentals and all the discussions and who's on the board and how much money they make, how much money they lose. It's not important. If you like that stuff, I have nothing against it. But I'm more of a chart guy and I'm more of a pattern type that I'm trying to read the market the best I can. So short story long, or long story short, a triple zigzag is nothing else than a series of as the name implies, a series of zigzags, right? So you have a zigzag in this wave W, you have a zigzag in this wave Y, and then you have another zigzag in this wave Z. And if you're not familiar with what a zigzag is, I made a video not long ago, but basically it's an A, B, C formation that has 5 waves in the wave A right here. It's got a 3 wave in this wave B, and then it's got a 5 wave in the wave C. It's the most common and basic corrective pattern out there. It's all over the place. Watch that video and you'll see I found like 7 or 8 of them in, I think it was a chart of Ripple or I don't even know, Ethereum Classic, something like that. Doesn't matter. So this is the basic form of a zigzag. So if I take this ABC, you're going to find it in this wave W. If I shrink it a little bit in here, you're going to take it and it's going to be part of this wave W first, then you're going to get a wave X, then you're going to get another zigzag here as part of this wave Y, and then you're going to get another zigzag part of this wave Z. So a triple zigzag is nothing else than a series of zigzags connected by X waves. X waves can be anything they want. Okay, it can be any type of 3-wave pattern. It can even be a triangle if it wants to. So for right now, let's focus on the chart below here, the chart of this stock that's called QTNT. And I want you to pay attention and kind of come up from these highs back here all the way to the lows, and then go from here to here and then come down again and try to see if you can make sense of all this movement that are on here. And again, just like we've done in the other video that I've done last week, just kind of pause the video a little bit, take 20, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you need, and try to come up first with a count, let's say from the highs here all the way to the lows, and see what you can find out. All right, so coming back to it, this is what I see on here, and what I'm looking at basically, it's what I wanted to pay attention to is I want to see all the impulsive moves that are happening. Okay, so what are the sharpest drops in this complete sequence that is on here? And I can see a beautiful drop in this leg up here. I can see another one back in here. I can see another one here, another one here, and another sharp drop coming from these highs all the way to this low. So pretty easy to see what the impulse legs are. Now what I also see is I see a bunch of waves here that are overlapping. Okay, so there is no clear directional move, although we are moving from the highs to the lows, but it's not a clean impulsive pattern. You can notice that this high enters in the area of this low in here. You can notice that this high enters in the area of this low. This high here, goes way above this leg up here. This over here goes above this low. So everything in here, it's kind of overlapping. Okay, so what this tells me, even if I'm in hindsight looking at this and I'm trying to learn how to count this pattern here, it tells me this is a large corrective pattern to the downside. And when I look at these legs in here, if it's an overlapping pattern, I always want to assign a C wave on these legs, because if I'm looking at them and I start to count them, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and as we know, 11 waves are corrective patterns. Okay, 5 waves are impulsive, 9 waves are impulsive, 7 are corrective, 11 are corrective, 15 waves are corrective. So I have an 11 wave move in here that it's a corrective pattern. Now, how do I look at this and how do I make sense of the whole thing? So let's just kind of start from the top and go all the way down. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take this tool here. I'm going to go, okay, well, if this is a C wave down, let's just try to count this because this is the most impulsive part of it. I'm going to go and I'm going in A, I'm going to go up in B and then down in C. And that's a nice clean move. ABC. Now we're going up here again in 3 waves. So that's probably another ABC, but let's forget about that and let's look at the next leg down. Okay, this is another ABC down right here. A, B, C. Okay, so I'm going to take this A wave, put it up there, the 0 down into this leg. So I can see already ABC, ABC. Wow. Okay, now from here, I have, and actually I think I might just have to move this here or here, doesn't matter. Another 3 wave move up here in a corrective pattern, and then look at this thing, another A, B, and C down. Okay, so already I can find out 3 waves, 3 zigzag basically that are coming down all the way from the highs into these lows. So if I have a first zigzag, how do I identify that? That is a combination here. We're going to go to a triple combination. Let me see if I can have it in here. If not, I'm going to pull it out. Okay, so I'm going to go basically take one like it's similar up there. So I'm going to go in a 0. So the first zigzag is a W. Let me just go back there. So first zigzag is a W, ABC. Then this has got to be an X wave. That's the connector. Then you have another ABC down. So that's going to be your Y wave. Then I have another connector here in a wave X. And then I have another ABC in a wave Z. So this is your basic downtrending triple zigzag. Remember, this triple zigzag can also move sideways in more in time than in price. This one moved in price, so we went from $19 all the way up here to about $3. But it is a complex correction coming from the highs all the way to the lows. You can help identify that as well by putting a channel. So you can take, and I have a lesson on the channels as well, but you can take the channel and kind of go from the highs, you kind of go towards the top of this B wave, try to connect as many lines as possible, maybe, touch a little bit this X wave as well, kind of come down, and then you come down here, okay? And this is your channel, and you're trying to connect as many points as possible, okay? So it's something like that. You're going to have a little bit of an overshoot in here sometimes, but that's totally fine. It is contained between these parallel lines, with occasional bursts, but this what tells you it's a nice corrective move. Otherwise, if you would have an impulsive lag, what would happen is you would be, you would have a 1, 2, then you would have a sharp drop in 3, 4, and 5, and it would be something of a different shape than a corrective pattern. So now that we established that we have a W, X, Y, X, and Z, let's see what are some of the relationships between the waves. So I'm going to go and measure wave Y compared with wave W, and we would like to see if we have equality. So if you see up here, I've done a measured move of wave Y versus wave W, and we just passed 100%, which means it's what I want to see in a zigzag or in a double zigzag. Because if I only take the first section of the count, W, X, Y, I want to see this gets close to 100%. How does this help you in trading? You know what to target. Because if you have a zigzag and then you notice a 3-wave move up in a wave X, you're going to expect to move lower 100% of this wave W, and that's what you should target in your trading. Okay, then let's see wave Z versus this wave Y. So again, Z versus W, so we can take the measurement against this wave W. Again, it's almost close to 100%. Okay, so we were just shy of it. This comes at 251, this one it's at 279. So doesn't matter, right? I'm good with that. Let me see if it gives you another measurement here with wave Y. Z versus Y, I don't think I have that on there, but you can probably, measure it yourself if you go, and let me just take a fib tool on here and see if I can find that out. So I'm going to go on an extension tool like that. No, not this one. Let me just, it's an expansion tool. Let me see what it is right here. Okay, so I'm going to measure, let's see here, we're going to measure wave, I said wave Y. So we're going to go here and there, and we're going to move it up to the top of this wave X and see where 100% is. So 100% is not far below this. It's about 223. So you can see how, even if when I measure it with wave Y, I have a pretty clean proportion between the waves. So between wave W, between wave Y, and between wave Z. Right? So this is something that I'm looking for, and I wanted to see, and how let me just delete this. Okay, how these waves unfold. Obviously, you would have to look at this. You'd have to look at this C wave, at this Z wave, also as a completed pattern, obviously, because you have an ABC, but you also have to want to make sure that this, for example, the C wave of the last sequence is got five waves inside it. And this is a 1 week chart. But if you go maybe to a 4-hour chart, you can probably count in here a 5-wave decline. And once you have that and you're getting close to 100%, you're starting to get a feel that you might be close to the end of this move. And that's how you can try to pick some lows in the market. Okay, so now let's take a look at another thing in here. Let's see this wave axis, how high they travel, and it's going to be something interesting. So look at this. Okay, you got a 618, beautiful, golden ratio that's coming up in here as you're looking at this into an X wave, and then let's check the second X wave. Again, you have another 618. So it's exactly what you want to see in pullbacks, right? So you have a nice downtrending market. You're looking at this. It's a 3-wave decline. You don't know what the market is going to do. Maybe it's going to go long, right? Maybe this is a 1 and this is a wave 2, ABC, but the market pulls back. You're watching the 618 like a hawk. You only have a 3-wave advance in there. You're getting a rejection. You're getting your signal, time to go short. Because the market, it's refusing higher prices, is also touching the top of this trend line, and that's how you trade the top of an X wave going to the downside. Then you get your ABC down. You can look at this B as well, right? You're in a downtrend, so you're going to want to sell the 618, the 786. So you look at this, and you barely, made it to 50%. You never made it to 618, but it doesn't matter. You can start selling already as you're approaching these levels because you're in a downtrend and you want to stay with the move and you want to stay with the market. Obviously, you're going to look for some confirmation. There's little tricks in there that you can follow. So now the market continues to move. Let me just delete this. Okay, continues to move down here. You're reaching the lows. You come to 100% and you're bouncing. You might think, hey, the move is done. You had to do a WXY and we're going to the moon. But you never actually take the top of this B wave. You never actually take the top of this X wave, right? You'd have no confirmation of higher prices. The market sells off in here. And, it's basically a 3-wave move. You have something coming from the lows. You go sideways. You have another small move going up in here. And the market never challenges the top of this trend line. So you have no business, and the top of this B wave, you have no business longing anything over here. Let's say if you're getting into the market at this point, if you're getting somewhere in here and you're starting to see this 100%, yeah, then you can look in smaller time frames. You can identify a small 5-wave advance from somewhere on these lows and then buy a pullback and just look to trade this into the 618 if you want. But that's kind of going against the trend. When you see the market going like this, you kind of have to be experienced to be able to take advantage of some of these moves. And the more you do it, the more you will be. But other than that, try to stay with the trend, and in a downtrend market, try to sell these bounces into the golden ratio. Then you're going to get an A wave, which is nice in 5 waves, and you're going to get your B, you're going to get your C, and that's going to be your Z wave decline. And that's how we're looking over to have a nice triple zigzag. All right, there's going to be another video here where I'm going to talk about, a triple three, a double three, where you have combinations. For example, this W wave, it's a flat, where this B wave, goes very high. Actually, well, this could be a flat as well. Let me see what B wave is. It's 786, so it doesn't qualify for a flat. You want it to be 88.2, 88.6%, 90%, and that would have been a flat. But in this case, it's not. It's just a 786 move. Okay, so when you have, let me just cancel this out. So when you're going to have a flat and you're going to have a zigzag, that's going to be a double three. When you're going to have, 2 flats and a zigzag, again, it's going to be a triple three. Or you're going to have 3 flats, right? It's going to maybe look something like this. So there's not that many examples of those around. You can find them, but you really have to dig down into a lot of markets to kind of get a hang of those. But there are out there, and that's why we call them complex patterns. But this one is just a simple 3-wave, just a simple triple zigzag. Now, okay, what happens from these lows all the way up into these highs? We just kind of move this out of the way. So again, you can see in here that you can start and count, because this is the largest, this is kind of the largest, corrective pattern in here. This seems to be the one that's kind of connecting everything on there, right? So you're going to take your tool and go from here, from the lows to the highs. This is an A, B, C, and then this has got to be an X, and then you have another, just an A, triangle in B, and then just a small C wave up, and that's your, because this is a three-wave move. I mean, you can argue with me a lot about, how this looks and what this is, but I'm telling you, the best interpretation here is probably a triangle in a wave B position. You have this, you go to A, B, C, D, and E, and that's your triangle right in there. Okay? So that's a zigzag, that's an X. So what is this as a complex? Then this is another double zigzag in here. So instead of a triple, we have a double. Instead, and it's moving to the upside. So you go here, you have a W, you have an X, and then you have a Y. And that's how you have a double zigzag going on the opposite direction. Okay, let's see. We can do a math and see how far we raised up here. It's probably a 618. So let me just do a fib retracement on here. So I'm going to go to these highs all the way up to these lows. And how high did we go? Close to 618, between 618 to 786. So pretty good area of resistance in there. And then we sold off. And we sold off in what? In a very clean zigzag. A, B, and C. Now, you're going to ask me, well, what is this whole thing? What is this, this whole move from the highs to the lows? And then how can I put this into perspective, and what's the market going to do next? And I'm going to tell you something straight up. I have no idea. I have no idea how I can label this, how I can label this, and how I can label this to fit into the whole structure into one label. And it doesn't matter. I want the market to give me more data. Maybe this whole thing down, we have to label it as a, WW, I don't know. But for right now, to me, it looks like a clean corrective pattern. Here's what else it can happen. This market can continue to go sideways for years. And it can keep doing this on a weekly chart. And you don't have to have a directional, move starting from here and continuing to go back up higher for years and years and years to $100 to $200. This can be a stock that can bounce between $18 and $3 for the rest of its life. And it can be just a series of patterns. It doesn't mean that you cannot apply Elliott wave. You just have to zoom down from a weekly chart to a daily chart or to a 4-hour chart and start to take advantage of some of these moves in here. So I have identified an ABC in here. And now check this out. We're going to go from a 1 week because this is a nice impulse move to the upside. So this is either an A wave or it's a wave 1. And let's just stay conservative. We're going to call it the A wave. We're going to go A. I don't even have to look necessarily inside it because I can see how impulsive it is. So I can go in an A, but I don't have anything proportionate here for a B wave. Okay, I barely started this corrective pattern. So I'm looking at the B wave to the downside, and then I'm looking to some kind of a C wave up to give me, another one of these corrective patterns. Maybe something like this, right? I don't know how it's going to look. I have no idea how it's going to end up. But all I know is that this is going to be corrective and I've got to get another impulse. This B wave could extend more. It could become a larger triangle. But I know if this is an impulse and this looks like a corrective move, we're going to take the top of this A wave at some point in the future. So it's just a matter of waiting for this B wave to finish correcting before you embark in a C wave advance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a 2-day chart and take a look at this advance in here. And I can see a nice clean impulsive move 1, 2, 3, triangle in 4, and then 5. So let me just go even lower to a, let's say to a 12-hour chart, right? So that's my 1, that's my 2. Then a sharp rise up in here. You have an acceleration gap as part of a third wave, which is what we want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going corrective in here. So I'm going to take my channel and I'm going to apply this and then just kind of wait for this move to finish. Now, what am I going to say? And this was an interesting question because, you can be very tempted after a sharp rise like this. You see a 3-wave corrective pattern in here that is like that. And say, well, we have a 3-wave correction. We come into the area of a 4th wave of a lesser degree, and we have a nice impulse move, and we're going to be ready to move to the upside. The tricky part here, and it comes with experience, it's the fact that this corrective pattern that's happening in here, it's not enough to correct this whole advance from $2 all the way to whatever it was, $10 or $11. It's just not enough. You need more time, either in price coming down or in time going sideways to kind of digest this whole move. So this is the first clue that you're getting that I think we're going to go complex. I think this pattern is not enough. It's too small, it's too short, and this is what you're getting. So now how do you count this move from this highs kind of coming into the lows, because this might end up being another simple corrective pattern. So what I see in here, first of all, I see in the middle here just a three-wave advance. So I'm going to label that because that's the first one I see. It's nice and clean to me. So this is an ABC. Okay, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is a A, this is a B, so a nice C wave up. So you got your, let's say just a simple ABC, a three-wave move. And to me, it looks by the fact that we have something like this, and then we have something like this. To me, this looks like it's a corrective pattern. It's a connector. It's a connector. So this move from here to here, it's got to be, some kind of a finished corrective pattern, and we just got to find a way to label it. Okay, so the way I look at this, I see this as a corrective move in here. So this is pretty impulsive to the downside. So I'm looking at this as being another A, B, C. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here in an A, I'm going to go up in B, and then I'm going to go up in a C. Okay, so now what is this? Since I have an ABC decline into these levels, we just kind of go back. All right, that means that, and this is a connector, and I'm starting to move kind of to the downside on here. That means that this has got to be a W wave. Okay, so I'm going to take my complex, and it could become, again, it could be a triple zigzag in the form, but let's stay with the basic and just call it a double zigzag until we're proven wrong. So I'm going to go combination in here. I'm going to go here. So this is an ABC. We're going to have the W, okay, right in there. And then this is your X, and then we're looking for a Z wave decline, for a Y wave decline in here. Okay, all right, so let's see. We made a new high in here. And this is not good. So I think looking at it on another level, I think I can make this an X wave because it looks more proportionate. Okay, and now I'm not going to have, actually I can still have the ABC coming in here. Let me just kind of grab that, because this is part of the first move. Okay, so that's your ABX, ABC. You have another three-wave decline, and then you have another three-wave advance in here. And I think that's what completes this X wave. And actually, we have a double correction in here as well. So we're going to go in a WXY. So this is another ABC in here. So we're going to go in a wave A. Okay, then we have a B wave in here. And then you have a C. Okay, and this is a 1 in an expanding leading diagonal in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, 3, triangle, and 4, and up in 5 for the C wave, and that's your X. Okay, this is your C. This is your X in three-wave move right in there. So this is a W, X, and Y. So we're going to take the complex tool from here, and then we're going to start at these lows right in there, and that's your W, that's your X, and that's your Y. Sorry about that. Let me just kind of fix that really quickly. All right, there you go. So nice clean move. Let me just fix this as well. Where is the 0? Why does it do that? All right, disappear. Okay, so A, B, C, W, A, B, C, X, A, B, C for an X. And now we're having another decline here in wave Y. So what do we do when we target this wave Y? Remember from the previous here, as I was showing you the larger pattern, I'm targeting 100%. So I'm looking at this Y wave, and I'm looking at this to reach somewhere into this 535 zone, okay, for the Y wave. So I'm having my channel, okay, something like this. Okay, I'm having my channel now, and all I got to do now is I got to wait for this market to come down. Can you short it? Sure. You can short this. You can short it and just have your stops above this 840 if the market goes back above this level, or maybe you wait for a little bounce. But I think it's a pretty interesting kind of setup that's going to come lower here toward this Y wave. Okay. Now remember, if you trade, this is the disclosure, you will lose money. You will make money and you will lose money. And don't take this advice as a trading advice. This is just presentations and just education. So don't come back to me saying that you took a short and you lost money. This is not trading advice, and past results right, are not guaranteed for future results. So there's my disclaimer on there. I think I'm safe there. Okay, so take a look at this. How you identify this A wave as an impulse move, right? So we're going to decompose this, and we're going to go as a leading diagonal. Okay, and here is your count: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to do this, if you remember from the previous lesson, short channel, and that's your leading diagonal. I think this wave 1 actually comes in here. This wave 2 goes just slightly higher, and then that's your 3, your 4, and a 5. Now, I have a small issue here on the alt 3 because this wave 3 just goes just a tiny little bit, beyond 100%. But since it's QTNT, it's a low volume stock. I'm going to give it. I'm not going to argue with it because I like how it looks as a leading diagonal, So I'm good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for an A. You go up in B. This is some kind of a complex correction. You can see, let me just remove this. You can see how, overlapping and choppy this thing are. So it's probably another A, B, C for a W, X, A, B, C for a Y for a B wave. And then you have a sharp decline in a wave C, possibly, a clean 5 wave move in here, right? And then you have this A, B, C, X, the 3 wave move to the downside, A, B, C, and here I explained this wave. And now what's going on here in this Y wave? So you have a 1, 2, okay? 1, 2. 3, 4, and 5, 4 and 5 for an A, and then you can have your C wave. So this is how that would look. You can get something like this. So I'm going to decompose this as a correction. So you can have this A wave in here that's still developing. Okay. So it would be something like this. Maybe you get a B wave, and then you should get maybe a sharp drop in the wave C. Something like that. That's what we would be looking for to get this Y wave, right? So this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, a little small degree violation in here. I'm fine with it. It's not, there's nothing crazy here. But clearly impulsive corrective, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, A, B, C. I don't think so. Could be a flat, because this would be like an expanded C wave. But I think it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4, and 5 for an A, B, and C. So that's what I mean. I don't think this move is done in here. You can go A, B, C, X, A, B, C. And just have more of a complex Y wave corrective pattern. That's also possible. Remember, this Y wave can be anything it wants. It can be a flat, it can be a triangle, it can be a zigzag, just like we have it up here. The bottom line in here, I don't want you to get caught up in all the what it could be. The idea here is that it's not done correcting, and you're going to get pretty strong signals from the market once it's done. So you can take a short and kind of go, with this temporary corrective pattern, or wait until this kind of finishes off, wears itself out. If you want, you can do a time fib as well. You can go, if this is an A and we're looking for a B in time traveled, I'm going to do a lesson about that, but you can go time analysis here, B versus A, and you can start to pull some times in here. And, we can go and look at this. Let me just kind of pull the B wave back 1 second. So if I pull it back in here, you can see that, we would be traveling basically about 261.8% distance travelers in this wave B compared with this wave A. It would be back here somewhere in August 22nd. If you want us to travel a little bit more, to the next kind of fib zone, it's 426 in here. So it also can do that. That's back in December. We'll see. This is another tool that you can use just to kind of, find out, how much time it actually takes a wave to develop. But the next kind of important point in here is this 2618. So we'll see. It would have to happen kind of extremely fast. But just kind of keep an eye on it. All right. So this is what you have. This is what you have on a, going back to a 3-day. And maybe even a 4, right? So this is your triple zigzag, WXYXZ. You have another double zigzag in here. You have a simple zigzag. So you got a whole menu in this stock chart on here, okay? And then you have, a couple of more happening as the market corrects now. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson. It's pretty long. It's almost 30 minutes. But, again, if you want to give me some thumbs up, fine. If you don't. Visit us into the Pro Room. Come trade with us. I hope you enjoy this content, and subscribe to the channel. Maybe hit the notification bell if you want to know when I'm dropping something else. The story. I'm not a super good YouTuber here, just kind of presenting counts and stuff like that. So but I would like my channel to grow. So if you guys can help it, that would be great. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.